everyone, this will be for lesson 3.10 practice using slope as a rate and go formative. Let's go ahead and get started with number 1. Number 1 asks us to plot the points and draw the line through them. Then tell whether the slope of the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. The first thing that you want to remember is all coordinates are written as x, y, where x tells you your movement left and right, and y tells you your movement up and down. So I am going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to go left 1 and then down 4. Since this was positive 1, negative 4, my second coordinate tells me to go right 5 and down 8. So 5, negative 8. The directions then tell me to draw a line through those points. So let's go ahead and get a line going through these coordinates. And then it wants us to say, okay, well, is this slope positive, negative, 0, or undefined? Oops, I moved this just a smidge. There we go. Well, since this line is descending from left to right, it is decreasing from left to right, that makes this slope negative slope. Great, so on to 2. 2 is very similar. We're going to go ahead and plot our points. So remember x, y. We're going to move horizontally back 3 and then up 6. So negative 3 up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then negative 3 up 0. So you're going to notice something very particular about those coordinates is they're kind of stacked on top of each other. So when we draw our line through these points, you'll notice that this line goes straight down. So because of that, our slope is actually undefined because there's no horizontal change. And if you think about the formula, the change in y over the change in x, our change in x would be 0 here, and we can't divide by 0. That's why it's undefined. Awesome. In 3, we're going to use that formula. So the formula that you need to know here to find the slope find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So your second values, so y2 and x2, are going to be these purple guys over here, okay? So they're my second set of coordinates. That's why I'm calling them y2, x2. The yellow will be y1 or x1 and y1 just because they're the first set of coordinates that I gave me. And you could really do that either way. So I'm going to plug this in. So my y2 is 7, so 7 minus my y1, which was 2, over 7 minus 1, so x2 minus x1. 7 minus 2 is 5, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So 5, 6 is my slope. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually find the slope of the line that passes through the points in the graph. So remember, slope is not only the change in y over the change in x, like we just looked like in 3, but it's also considered rise over run. When I'm looking at this slope, I can already tell this slope is positive because it's increasing from left to right. But what I actually need to do is calculate the amount. So I'm going to go from point to point using vertical and horizontal movements. So vertically, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And then I'm going 1, 2, 3 right. So my slope My rise was 4, my run was 3, so my slope is 4/3. 5 is going to be very same as 4. We're going to be looking at that slope, but we're looking at, rise over run. The difference I'm hoping you're seeing between 4 and 5 is that here this slope is negative because the line is decreasing from left to right. So let's look at this again. Positive is increasing from left to right. Negative is decreasing from left to right. So when we do our rise here, we're going up 2, but then we're going back 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise is 2, my run is 4, but it's negative because that line is decreasing. In slope, if something simplifies, it's always important to simplify it. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 4 is 2. So my simplified slope is negative 1/2. Okay, now we're trying to get slope from a table. So the table shows the number of days you keep a rented movie before returning it and the total cost of renting the movie. Find the rate of change in cost with respect to time and interpret its meaning. So here, let's just kind of picture a graph, right? So the table shows the number of days, so that's going to be our X, and that cost is going to be our Y. So days would be down here, and our cost would be our y-axis. So after 1, 2, 3, 4 days, it's going to cost us $6. All right, so here's just a basic idea of the function for you. Well, we need to find the change from day 4 to day 5. So we can look at this by how much x changes and then how much y changes, and then we'll put that into our slope formula of the change in y over the change in x. So the change in x is going from 4 to 5, so from day 4 to day 5, so that is plus 1. So my change in x is 1. My change in y is from $6 to $8.25. So if I subtract those two values, I will get $2.25. So my rate of change here is that every day I rent, it costs me $2.25. There we have it. And you can see that if we did this from day 5 to day 6, $2.25 plus $8.25 is equal to $10.50. So every day that goes on, I need to spend an extra $2.25 to keep that movie. All right, number 7, last but not least, a community theater performed a play each Saturday evening for 10 consecutive weeks. The graph shows the attendance for the performances in weeks 1, 4, and 6 and 10. Describe the rates of change in attendance with respect to time. So let's look at weeks 1 to 4. You'll notice that that is increasing, right? And that, so this slope here would be increasing, right? So from weeks 1 to 4, we can use these two coordinates to find our slope. So our first coordinate was 1, 131. And then week 4, we had 230 people. So we can use that formula that we used in a previous example. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we can say, well, 230 minus 131 over 4 minus 1. This would be, that would be 99, I believe, over 3. Well, 99 divided by 3. So the rate of change from weeks 1 to 4 was 33. Okay, if we look at weeks 4 to 6, so let's look at weeks 4 to 6, you're going to notice that it's decreasing here. So our attendance was decreasing after 4 weeks. So again, let's look at our coordinates. So 4, 230, and then at week 6, we were down to 208 people. So using our formula 208 minus 230 over 6 minus 4 equals, let me grab a calculator here just so I can make sure got the right amount of people. So 208 minus 230 would be negative 22. So negative 22 over 6 minus 4 is 2. So our rate of change was negative 11 from weeks 4 to 6. Lastly, we're going to look at weeks 6 to 10. And you'll notice that from week 6 to 10, we're still decreasing. And we're decreasing even more rapidly, right? We're decreasing pretty fast. Where our two coordinates were at week 6, there was 208 people in attendance. And at week 10, there was only 60 people. So if we use that formula, 60 minus 208 over 10 minus 6, 60 minus 208 is negative 148, and 10 minus 6 is 4. So if we simplify that, negative 148 divided by positive 4, that rate of change is negative 37, right? So you can see that from week 6 to 10, it was decreasing pretty rapidly. All right, I hope this helped you guys with the practice for 3.10. See you tomorrow. Bye.